everyone. Welcome all to This is Loud in My Ears. No, that's not the name of the game we're playing. We're playing more of the Ace Attorney Investigations. So, last time, we discovered a murder in our office. The audacity! We just get back from a business trip, and then suddenly, boom, murder. And it's just like, great, cool. That's pretty much where we're at. So, reminder, this Saturday I am partaking in a Fall Guys tournament. So, a big Fall Guys tournament. I'm gonna see if I can read any updates for you guys in the channel that I'm a part of for that. Okay, 7. Okay. So yeah, no further updates of like what group I'm in or like what my team is or whatever. We'll figure all of that out on Saturday, I guess. So other than that, I don't really have anything big for you guys to note other than, obviously Actual Life is coming up on November 3rd. That's our 24-hour charity live stream that I do every year. And then, of course, in December, we have Turnabout Christmas, which is our Phoenix Wright Christmas tradition. And, well, I guess stream tradition. Alexa, volume 10! Alexa, tell us an interesting fact.
If you want to find the best cranberries, try bouncing them and see if they bounce back. The fruit's bounce ability was discovered in 1880, but many farmers still use the bounce test today, with a series of angled wooden boards that separate the softer cranberries from the bouncy ones. Boing!
Boing! Well, there's our interesting fact about cranberries. Anyway, let's get my window captured. Because I was last doing... Also, I don't know why the audio is being a little funky for you guys. Maybe if I just, reset the... Let me try to... reset real quick. Yeah, as one does, simply. See if that helps. So continue from chapter start. Okay, seems to be going better then. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor. Hallway. What's with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. You're saying this to a man. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Meg is innocent. You'll see, sir. But we have been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then what now? Looks like my life's fallen to yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his arguments is that Miss Bird is related to the Master Key. In that case, this hallway is a perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Begin investigation. Okay. First things first, let's talk to Maggie. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of your courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm getting cross-examined by Miles Edgeworth! Calm down, you... I mean, to be fair, if she did get cross-examined by Edgeworth, she'd get the double hitter because she's already been cross-examined by Phoenix. Oh, before this stream, I did confirm that this at least takes place after Justice for All. So, but I didn't confirm if it takes place before Trials and Tribulations, but that's kind of the theory I think I'm going with, is that it's between Justice for All and Trials and Tribulations, just considering the fact that in this game, Maggie is 23, and in Justice for All, she's 22. So, I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple times before when I had to go to Mr. Postman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once I would love to play with them. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Postman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. I got it! So, Portman is a douche. A narcissistic douche! Got it! Nailed it! Got his personality down. On second thought, I don't think I fit in at all with that. Maggie correct? I take it you're an acquaintance of the detective. She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started to go downhill, so she quit. For all those who do not know Ace Attorney, that murder she was in was The Lost Turnabout, which is the first episode of Justice for All. So that is just another proof that this happened. Wait! So no! That confirms! This confirms that this is before Trials and Tribulations. Because Gumshoe said a murder, not a couple murders. Because she gets arrested as a suspect of murder twice. Figured out. So, you know what that means? We'll be fine to not play Apollo's Justice until the Apollo's Justice trilogy comes out. But I will have to talk to Gumshoe to introducing to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of food, failed at almost every test I've ever taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now I even managed to be named a criminal. Just when I became a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know! And just when I thought I finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. It's okay, you already got Phoenix and Maya caught up in your bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth! You can count on me! I'll do all I can to help. I mean, I feel like it's always my tradition to shove my badge in people's faces. That's a prosecutor badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor. Interesting. By all appearance, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. With that patch, I even could be Even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try it on? Just for a little bit? I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? I guess not. On second thought, and second thought, they're actually unstable. I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it. It's like talking to another gumshoe. I like this. It's like talking to another gumshoe. I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it. It's like I'm talking to another gumshoe. It's like talking to another gumshoe. Lowly security guard. I knew I had to present the key, but it's fun to present everything, just in case. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security guard, or room at reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not gone, but stolen, sir. Why isn't such an important key stored in such an insecure place? Ah, it's nothing like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say, except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at all times. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. You used the master key. What do you mean by use the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door to this prosecutor. I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who has forgotten his keys. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right! I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his keys was Mr. Portman, sir! Dun dun dun! What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portman has forgotten his key office, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him. No way! That's against regulation to loan the key out to anyone. So I walked Mr. Portman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up to his office as he was leaving to go home. That's around 1:30, I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice. Talk about suspicious. I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Miss Portman's door. Alright, let's talk to Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Care to share? Aw, it's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portman calls his partner Jim. And the detective in that Sunday drama, All My Cops, is named Jim too. I bet one of them is a big fan of that show. You seem to know a little something about yourself. I take it you watch it too. Of course. The tight bonds of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. But it doesn't compare to the super strong friendship we have. Ho ho ho! Yes, you're telling yourself that one, Gumshoe. Friendship, detective. I think you're mistaking it with pity. I forgot how sassy Edgeworth can be! How could you say that, sir? And after all, we've been through too. About Miss Bird. No way, she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir. Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a thing regarding the security guard position. Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to her and then touch the talk button. And you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. I already did that, Gumshoe. If you want to ask her about evidence, all you have to do is present it. After you choose what to show her, touch the present button, and now you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'll be surprised what they say. Thank you for the explanation. Though I don't recall asking for one. Just so you know, sir, you can show me evidence in the same way too. I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird. Ignore it again. But I do want to show you evidence. Because we got your prosecutor badge is really tiny compared to my police badge. Oh, but it's really cool, sir. Much, much cooler than my badge could ever be. There's no need to suck up to me, detective. I'm just a lowly detective, so not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. That's the only talent you have. Oh, wait. Yay. I'm glad those, I believe, I don't, it's not a technical canon, but I would love to believe that Maggie and Gumshoe get together by the end of, after Recipe for Turnabout. Victim's gun, huh? That's the same model as mine. A tool used to protect lives, yet only that can take away lives. Those who take a gun in hand wield great responsibility. I hope you understand that. I don't really use my gun at all, sir. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict and look ultra cool. You were doing so well until that last minute. I had no idea you had one of these things. I mean, I thought I knew everything there is to know about you, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've caught up a glimpse of the hidden side of Miles Edgeworth. There's a great deal you don't know about me. At least, I hope so. I'm just a lowly detective, so not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. Is that the only talent you have? Oh, wait. Just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what to do with that other than to arrest it. Okay, so that's all the talking and that. I can... We can examine this. What is this basketball doing here? That's Miss Portman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Oh my gosh! Can we talk to... Oh my gosh, can we talk to Mr. Payne? It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of a prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find and apprehend and punish the killer accordingly post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you got in your hands. If you ever feel lost and need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I'll keep your offer in mind. Who's this guy? Nobody remembers Mr. Payne! And my first thought was just like... My first thought is always just like... Like how my first thought was just... Let's talk to him. What's the basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of those officers dragging it up here recently. Drag it?! I heard it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor. Oh my. Can we talk to this? Can we talk to this officer? Is everything alright? Yes, sir! If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I am finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, sir! Congratulations. But I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice, stay focused on your start. Stay focused or you might start losing even more weight. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's... Ah! It's one of those missing O-series files, sir. No doubt about it. The bloody letters are marked clearly as they. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thieves only took what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these O files about, sir? Guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court cases files. However, these cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. And that means the thief also wanted the files for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I don't know what that case is, because I only know 15 and, well, if this would be between, 2 years. So, actually, 16 and 2. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. Well-crafted, high-quality sofas for visitors. Stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping. You would sleep here. You would even sleep out here, detective, in a hallway. Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming of giving testimony up on the stand. It always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? That's literally every time you're on the witness stand, though, Gumshoe. Yeah, maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning, naturally. So what do I have for logic? This might be a little silliness. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal! I mean, sir! She really is turning into Gumshoe. You said that you locked up Mr. Portman's office around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key has already been stolen at that time. Wow! Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro! I totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around that very time I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought that maybe I could go back. I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Interesting. So we can just barge into his office like no big deal. Oh yeah, we should probably. I won't rest until every inspect look. I won't rest. And the door is locked tight. Heh, I bet the old credit card trick won't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of the High Prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if an average cat burglar could get through them. Ah, so I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return to that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Room 2003. Room 203. Take it that it is the Miss Portman's office. Yeah, you can mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portman actually wanted room 202 really badly, but since you were already occupying it, Miss Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. That's why Mr. Portman. Why was Mr. Portman so particular at getting room 202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because it's something like his birthday is December 2nd. Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? How's this? Wait, no. A minimalist yet classy door made up of top quality wood. Kind of majestic too. Fits in well with the ambience of the prosecutor's office. Even Mr. Portman seems dignified, just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose that custodial work can also be... I love all the shit Mr. Payne gets. This contradiction between reality and the evidence. What Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't really relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. I don't think Mr. Portman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? Either it means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door that Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. So she opened a different door? Well, how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is examine these. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what'd you find out? There's no need for such a belaboring nostril flaring detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portman's and Mr. Pace's prints on this doorknob. Only 2 people's prints were found on this door. That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose print should also be on the doorknob? Well, Maggie's, obviously. Do you find it odd that the prints of this person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? I won't rest until I've expected every nook and cranny. Well, that basketball's looking sus. This basketball is property of Miss Portman's? Yes, sir. He always is ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport he is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Ho ho! That isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective. You're right, sir. I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portman. Someone should teach him how to clean his toys up after he's done playing. I think we reached the end of this conversation. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey! How about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of the hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. Guess it shifted when somebody made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The pointing of this hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this. Minimalist yet classy door of top quality, kind of majestic too. Really fits in with the ambience of a prosecutor's office. Nonsense, man. And it's pain. It's supposed to go to your work. What's this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought three pieces of evidence by just like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up with you later, buddy. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Postman. Do I have any other logic? Let's see if we can talk to Gumshoe about anything. Ace Investigator. I was wondering about the investigation. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done. A real seasoned pro. Of noodle... it's a noodle cuisine, perhaps. You know that you could always check out the real important spots in more detail, right? Yes. And or those areas are too big. You can always use arrow buttons at the bottom, right? Oh, but don't you worry, sir. The arrows only show up when you need to use them to see more. I knew that as well. And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, try a deduction. First, you line up your cursor with the suspicious-looking area. Then you touch the juice and even choose your poison. I mean evidence. When you settled on a piece, you gotta present it. I'm pretty sure I already knew all that as well, detective. Well, if you can't remember all of this, well, welcome to the world of pros. IW, Ace Investigator. Class dismissed. All I wanted was an update about the investigation. Okay, so I can't not deduce it. So. Oh, we have some more. We have more evidence. So let's present stuff to. I'm just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. I think I'm telling you have. Oh wait. Hey, I love basketball. I play all the time when I'm off duty. Interesting. You should see me dribbling, faking, and weaving like pro. That's my trusty coat on, sir. They call me the Green Supernova. He wears that tether rag of jacket even on his days off. I'm just a little detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. Is that the only talent you have? Oh, wait. Alright, so let's talk to Maggie about these other... I had to open Mr. Portman's office for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see inside his office a number of occasions too. It's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it. To the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous since I don't have even a single one. Don't say that, Maggie. I'll make you a special Guard of the Month award just for you. Thanks for trying. I've already gotten mountains of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof just how unbelievable and lucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you isn't the same as getting a real award, sir. Nah. I'm just a little security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it. It's like talking to another gumshoe. You can examine my door. I won't rest until I inspect every inspectious candy. Level 2. The 4 numbers and the player alone player proclaim this to be my office. Whoops! Hey! These number plates are slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plates off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that could be so easily removed that is kind of... I don't see any signs of 4th century. And according to the card, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask to lift if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob is as clean as a whistle. Wiped it, they think. However, as the thief is, they did a good job not leaving any clues behind. Poke around in this hallway. It actually has paid quite off handsomely. Huh? How, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little check with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. But the mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. I knew that from the frickin' beginning. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly where my logic was senses are telling me too. I suspect it was him from the incident we accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself. Come what may, it's time to knock on the truth's door. Mr. Portman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here! Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Gah! Hey. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, postman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? No, it's no joke. We know, Mr. Jack Portsman, that you're the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guilt of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your crowl. Ha ha! Who would ever thought it'd come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? A legendary prosecutor who never lost a single place for 40 long years. And then Phoenix came along! But there was always this. Chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I gotta stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mask for is explaining yourself. Although that too will only take your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you haven't yet to prove anything. I have no idea what sort of harebraining idea you have in your mind, but there's no mountains of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask, how do I propose I unlock your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad about doing this to you, but I got my work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you are stubborn. I suppose you're just basing your accusation on something. I wouldn't be accusing without evidence. That's something Edgeworth would say, right? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence. But, first we always get a prize, because that's always the thing. My accusation is that it's not a harebrained idea, is it? Here, you tell me. I'd say it is, after all. There's mountains of evidence that points away from you being the culprit. Oh, what pray and pray tell, what kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I have a motive for killing him. And that's it. That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But that's more enough, wouldn't you agree? I'd kill Gumshoe. Might I recommend that you use what the word evidence means? I do. It doesn't change the fact that evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. But evidence doesn't. Besides, how may I ask how do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Unfortunately, I believe that I've already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I insist that you cannot gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Oh. It always works as a defense attorney, so when in doubt, raise an objection! You claim to have no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well. Then I propose that you use this to open my door. I believe you were able to open my door with the master key. No less. Wait. Hold on for a second. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to Maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door. You had to ask Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah. Kinda forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You had quite in the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure that I was opening the right door, sir. See? Mr. Birdboy backs up my story. OBJECTION! Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her in thinking what you wanted? And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right! They do slide off pretty easily. Furthermore, you used more than one thing to give it. Furthermore, you even used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours, and not in fact mine. What is it Mr. Portman used to make Mr. Berg think? It would be the basketball hoop, wouldn't it? What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite a peculiar fixture in the hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it's left an unusually strong impression on you. An object perfectly suited to sit outside the office of a particular prosecutor. Yeah! That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in the front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicions on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjure is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. Ooh, not allowed to go off of. So he intends to claim that his innocence to the end, does he? I'm pure and innocent as my jacket. Can we see your jacket in a little further detail, please? He probably wasn't wearing it when he... And Mr. Bird is as dirty as and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket isn't dirty. I'll have you know, I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who's the one truly covered in slime here. Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. Using the master key, of course. Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth, some sort of people like you. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. You were going through your law books from start to finish. Mainly bad in practice. Oh, and some weights. Oh, and I jogged when I got the chance. Wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have. It's the weakest legal muscle, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so... You don't have a single reason to suspect me. I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually. But none of those would stand up on their own. Not on their own, but together. Then what about all the evidence? That's all circumstantial. No judge would even convict such a flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push and all he has to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Now you're just spun. Wait, the note! Objection! That was a lie. Well, what are you talking about? How was that a lie? This note in the victim left for you, Mr. Postman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? It's right here, as it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So, where were you? What were you doing? Yeah! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room. The very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense! You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very precise evidence. No way! This proves is the position that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. On! I meant to hit the present button. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Ha! What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You should have get rid of wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What would they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Yeah! Furthermore, of all the prints on my office door have been wiped cleaned. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We all know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faye found out on you. Probably because he heard something coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portman, you killed Mr. Face to silence him. And then I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said, you had the gun to my back. No one gets away with committing a murder in my office. Why is he laughing? Just what's so funny, pal? Well, the look of stiff seriousness on the faces of this office's this prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is too simply much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all. He even backed it up. You're a murderer. You're the murderer. Stop trying to stop slipping. Just admit the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's so circumstantial, so full of conjure. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down as well. Yeah? I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob as soon as I could. After you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own fingerprints would be on there. You just made that up now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office, like earlier this evening, for example. Are you saying that you failed to notice the note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. But now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice the note that size. But you can't prove that. You can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here. Yeah. Postman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Oh, jeez. If memory serves, you came back at your office around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. At that exact time, I was already down with criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm pretty sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think that it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask all around. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Yes, I'll go check out his alibi. Sir, be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Postman said. The guys down and the criminals all around him 2 a.m. You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. You're correct, it was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you were spot on. You're spot on with me this time. I remember checking my watch then and making no mistake, it was 2. Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back out of your office at 2. And it was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation with gunpoint at the culprit. It's as you say, however. Yes, however, you were the only one who claimed to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come on now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why wouldn't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well. It does not matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. But at the exact same time, I was on criminal affairs. So you paid the criminal affairs department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, they headed straight for the pre-intercept. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Well, we did go ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you around that time. See? I had the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ah! Possible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sullen look on your face? Can you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir! Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that could help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Gotta try it. There were 2 bullets left on the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and the one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon was shown only being fired once, meaning that it's entirely possible that a second gun was used at my office tonight. But seeing how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I thought the killer had another gun up their sleeves. Therefore, the second gun could have possibly been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Well, they're the only things I can connect, so... Supposing there's yet another visitor tonight. That would also resolve the issue of why my sleeves were appended twice. Shelves appended twice. We all know that the shelves were disturbed once before and after the murder. So it shouldn't have been such of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second gun, that was the gun of the second culprit's gun was the one pointing at my back. Mr. Postman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great! So you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief. But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And that means, in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean, 2? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there was 2 guns. Mr. Postman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. You could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Postman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Grr. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Postman without stealing something from me. Which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Postman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed some sound coming from my office, would be the guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came to this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Postman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. And Mr. Postman was not so merciless to leave him alive. He waited for the chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. There was a moment in which the first shot was fired, and the one that landed on my file. Following that, Mr. Postman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things are as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there's yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir. Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room. And then they entered my room to search through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. Oh, it's still in the 0 file, right, sir? Correct. Only just when the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during the brief encounter. The shells are getting messed up twice, and the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing things at 2 different times. Precisely. Now, do you see, Mr. Postman? The person I met was just a thief. In that fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know for a fact the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that is all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which is, with such scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defying point to your argument for which you have no evidence. Your suspicion that I was the first visitor. Grr, Mr. Edgeworth, can't let me get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was a plain old thief, then why is this person not your main suspect? If that is, your theory is correct. That thief you ran into shouldn't be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They still might be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but I actually, as I already said, I was training in my room, and just when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't explain to know what happened around there after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course! Now isn't the time to be wasting on a dead-end discussion. I don't think it's all a dead end. If you find your alibi, it's to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? Alright, perfect! I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find some way to prove it. Actually, no, I wouldn't. But why not? It's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Face's killer was very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And after they were on that, the thief stole one of them. You mean the O files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Ah! Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They still might be nearby. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all. I hate to repeat myself, but as I said, I was training in my room. But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on. I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say Jim left that note for me earlier in the evening? If you had proof that he left it at a different time, just say just before he was murdered. I don't have any. No. You see, if I insist again, I was in my office the entire time. And when Jim came to deliver some of the evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. Why didn't you go with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, those soft roads in the hallways, he likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? There were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to slip through the cracks. A gun and a pendant. Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Why were you taking them to Criminal Affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two. Well, this had nothing to do with this case right now. Anyways, I believe you'll find a long paper trail I left to be your satisfaction. This is all matching up with the types of gums you found out. I can't be expected to know what happened around there after I left. I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based off logical... You can expect me to take a guess based off logical deduction. Oh, then let's see what you deduced. Jim waited for me to leave, and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Mr. Berg caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. That's all exactly as I laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. This might be something. I must object to your line of logic. And which part do you have the objection to? Yes, well. Stay cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you're all flustered. Get detectives right. For a change. How did I come to this? Come down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. Wait! He brought me 2 items. This note says I brought 3 pieces of evidence. Objection! Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is you failed. Excuse me? You failed as a prosecutor, Mr. Postman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hid anything from you. Well, here's the piece I think you should read carefully. It says Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this victim's real dying message. And this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portman. I can't believe to get tripped up on something as mystic. Where is this missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Oh, the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I've had to count down from heads too. Why don't you come any closer? I'm warning you. It's all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had it on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason for why anyone would hide evidence to this caliber. It's because equality points to that person at himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will be driven his last nail into his coffin. The KG incident. That's the police case number, sir. Does this mean the video evidence from that case? Interesting. However, it's what's recorded on this isn't important. However, what's recorded isn't important now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. Help! Always on the blood. Ah! That's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be the Detective Faith's good blood? No, you got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you have received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how the victim's blood found its way on this video. Yeah, what? It's totally suspicious. Was that the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personality when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if you were to examine this tape for fingerprints? Yeah! If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible! I'm... He just ate his medal. Mr. Postman has placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Face, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab text on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Face's blood on it. And as the bonus, they were able to lift a few of Mr. Face's fingerprints as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see a cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Aw, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. It's not the first time she's been accused of murder, and it's definitely not the last! I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd throw my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should hire a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Putman was really a corrupt prosecutor. And And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard there was numbers of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's rumors about how there's some evidence he used as forged, or forged evidence, huh? And they say he even decided to not prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Ooh, that guy's a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his real reasons for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's the rumor said that there's a huge organization involved behind the scenes. Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends to certain to that evidence. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. Huh? Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who that was. And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was that who held me at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something there? It's not just any bird. It's the mark of a raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, that's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about. Master Masquerade? Oh, wait, no, sorry. He's just a petty one who's doing someone else's bidding. Yes, it's the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. And the mark of the legendary bird, the Yakasu, is a noble end to a modern Robin Hood. Labeled the mysterious and phantom-like, the Yakasaru appears and vanishes at will. Although we don't know much about the thief's ultimate goals, we do know the targets. The Yakuza likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence was was sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagara Sue's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the contents of the files was the Yakasaru? Yakasaru. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yakasaru. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Yes, we're saving. And that is where seems to be a good spot to end for tonight. Because, oh boy, that was a lot to take in. And also, I don't want to stay up too late tonight. I got some things to do, so I got to make sure that I'm doing them so that they get done. So because and stuff. So we'll be back on Thursday to start Turnabout Airlines. And so, also, hold on, I want to get our music back up. So now, normally I would just do this thing where so, actually, at this point, I'm just I don't think there are any. There are too many. So, I'm assuming I'm the only one playing investigations. So I think I'm just gonna... Actually, no, I do have a raid target. I never get to raid this person. But guys, we are raiding my good friend, Captain Elena. She's currently doing her birthday subathon, so make sure to go wish. Okay, never mind. She's not allowing to raids. Okay, never mind to that point. Okay, so we were gonna raid Elena. She was my only raid target. So, I'm just gonna check though. Oh, but here's the thing. I don't want to spoil myself. So I think we're just gonna wrap up the stream tonight, and I hope you guys all enjoyed, and we'll be back Thursday for more Ace Attorney Investigation.